Dear students, welcome to e-PG Pathshala and e-content project under the National Mission on Education through ICT. I am Professor Seva Singh, former Head Department of Library and Information Science, Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. Today, we will discuss about the module Reference Librarian, Role, Skills and Competencies. This module is part of the paper on information sources, systems and services. Reference service is recognized as an indispensable service provided to the users to help them with their information inquiries. Reference service is the bedrock service which the users value and make use of it for their benefit. In view of the wealth of resources, half of knowledge is knowing where to find it. So why reference service is sometimes called as the fourth R after the traditional 3 R's, namely reading, writing and arithmetic, because it underlines the importance of education system as a whole. In other words, it is about someone with information problem interacting with someone with information skills. Among the library staff, the reference librarian is more involved with providing direct help to the users. The role of reference librarian is, therefore, of vital importance for the library as well as for the users. He or she has to be effective in this role because he or she receives a number of inquiries by diverse users with diverse needs. His or her success lies in tactfully handling most of the queries to the satisfaction of the inquirers. There are various types of queries which are asked at the reference desk by diverse users. The first could be directional queries, whereby the users generally ask for where is a particular document or a particular section in the library or a particular equipment, etc. Factual queries involve asking for factual information which is invariably data-based. Subject queries as to how to find information on a given subject of interest to the users at a given point of time. Skill-related queries as to how to use online public access catalog in the library. Library procedures. Queries relating library procedures involve such as knowing the reservation procedure or library working hours or library loan procedure, etc. Known item searching. Queries related to known item searching pertain to check, for example, the bibliographic detail of a document or an article in a given journal, etc. In view of these queries which come at the reference desk before the reference librarian, the reference librarian therefore performs a number of functions based upon or according to the queries put before him. User instruction is one of the primary function of reference librarian, whereby he generally instructs the new user as to how to make use of the library sources and services. Assistance to users is another function whereby the reference librarian helps the users regarding various queries. Advisory services, wherein the reference librarian helps the users in advising regarding the choice of a particular book, for example, or choice of even a course of studies, and so on. Promoting library resources. This is another important function wherein the reference librarian establishes links of old sources with the new sources so as to promote both of them. Help in developing library collections. On the basis of his experience with the users, he can definitely be of much help to the technical section in developing library collection accordingly. Supervision function. Here, the reference librarian would organize the reference section properly so that maximum help is extended to the users. Information function. Thereby, he or she would provide requisite information to the users. Bibliographic function. The reference librarian here provides the bibliographic detail, or even if possible can compile a bibliography on a given topic of interest. Appraisal function. This is with respect to various books and other documents, whereby he appraises the users about their usefulness. So it's clear from the above that roles and functions of reference librarian have been changing with change in the face of libraries. These changes in the face of the library, changes in the image of library, changes which are being brought out in the collection of the library, in the services of the library. There has been a paradigm shift in the role of reference librarian also. The shift in the role of reference librarian is because of the shift in the profession itself. We do find now that human-dependent library operations are shifting to machine-dependent activities. There has been a shift from data processing to knowledge processing. The paradigm shift from standalone system to networked system. Shift from document-centered information to user-centered information. From print resources to electronic resources. From online retrieval system, from online information retrieval to CD-ROM databases, and so on. These are some of the shifts which are happening in the library and information profession. These are also changing the role and functions of reference librarian. Libraries worldwide have been adjusting to the shifts mentioned above, particularly shift from printed era to the new digital era. New roles and functions assumed by reference librarian would urge him to provide such services as would ensure maximum use of sources. These innovations would impact upon the role of reference librarian, his competencies, his skills and knowledge which he acquires from time to time. Consequently, in a restructured and re-engineered library, as a result of the paradigm shifts, the role of reference librarian would be of effective knowledge navigator. Reference librarian therefore would now provide digital reference service 24 by 7 days through email, instant messaging, video conferencing, etc. If the reference librarian has to provide new services in the new emerging information environment, obviously he or she has to acquire new skills as well. The growth in the use of information communication technologies have influenced handling, storage, processing, retrieval, and dissemination of information to the users. The ultimate aim is to make the right information accessible and available in the right format at the right time to the right user. Reference librarian must therefore acquire new knowledge and skills compatible with these changes. There are two types of skills he must acquire. One is professional skills and second is personal skills. Regarding professional skills, we discuss them one by one. Knowledge about reference and information sources and their effective use. This is an important professional skill. He must develop strong knowledge about the contents of reference sources, databases, online catalogs, search systems, and also keep evaluating them from time to time. Broad knowledge about subjects is another professional skill. He must have firm knowledge of a subject and in addition acquire broad knowledge by reading well about other subjects. Third is experience in research projects. His search experience relating to literature on a given subject can greatly help the researchers. Skills in conducting a reference interview is another important professional skill he must acquire. Adequate skills to assess users' needs and identify appropriate materials. Skills and competencies of access. These skills deal with user information overload and removing barriers to service knowledge of indexing and bibliography. Skills for collaboration. Reference librarian must work with users, colleagues, professional organizations, etc. to ensure that users receive information they need. Professional search skills. He should acquire skills and competencies capable of finding and evaluating information resources best suited for answering queries. Knowledge about library policies and procedures. He must have adequate knowledge about library policies, procedures, service standards, etc. developed by the higher authorities. Technology skills. He is expected to possess information age skills, working knowledge of technology, internet, so as to browse, navigate, etc. digital information. He may also have knowledge about computer search engines, Boolean operators, etc., which will help him greatly while answering user queries. Marketing skills. In order to promote information services, reference librarian can develop a marketing plan as a strategic planning. He can conduct research surveys to determine type of information services needed by users. He can develop a public relations plan, create an encouraging environment, utilize sources to promote reference services. He can also make use of marketing tools such as mass mailing through mail or post, make announcements about new and old services, and so on. So, in addition to the professional skills of reference librarian, he can also develop some personal skills. For example, personality traits. Some of the personality traits of a good reference librarian are that he may be tactful, intelligent, imaginative, helpful, curious, energetic, sensitive, polite, strong memory, untiring feet, etc. And above all, he may also wear a proverbial Mona Lisa smile on his face to serve the users better. Another personal skill is desire to help others. He must have a genuine and determined desire to help others to meet their information needs. Curiosity is another personal skill. Reference librarian should have an element of curiosity in his or her mind so as to become quickly involved. Ability to shift focus. It is a necessary complement to curiosity. He should be able to quickly shift to new questions. He should have ability to deal with many questions simultaneously. General knowledge. He should have broad general knowledge and keep up to date about current events. You can acquire it through reading newspapers, magazines, etc. Good memory. It is an asset for reference librarian. His long-term memory can help to have some good clues about sources of information. His short-term memory helps him to remember some facts, dates, etc. Communication skills. Most of the time, reference librarian communicates with users in person, on telephone, by email, and so on. So he must possess good communication skills for providing good reference service. He should be able to write reports, articles, press releases, library guides, pathfinders, etc. in simple and understandable language. Patience. This is another personal skill. He must have quality of patience while working with diverse user groups, difficult users, and even troublemakers. Creativity. He can look at the question of the user from different angles and different approaches and think creatively to find right answers to such queries. Communication skills. Most of the time, reference librarian communicates with users in person, on telephone, by email, and so on. So he must possess good communication skills for providing good reference service. He should be able to write reports, articles, press releases, library guides, pathfinders, etc. in simple and understandable language. Patience. This is another personal skill. He must have quality of patience while working with diverse user groups, difficult users, and even troublemakers. Creativity. He can look at the question of the user from different angles and different approaches and think creatively to find right answers to such queries. Accepts new challenges and opportunities. Reference librarian should have quality to accept new opportunities and show the skills to solve problems. He needs to explore new ideas, products, and services for the users. The new challenges of information age can be converted into opportunities by knowledge of adequate skills and competencies. He can create the library without walls in future. However, reference service is essentially personal service. Its quality depends upon the knowledge, skills, and personal traits of the person delivering that service. By way of concluding this module, we can say that reference librarian need to help in expanding the library collection beyond the traditional literature such as books and journals. The competencies and skills are not restricted to reference librarians alone, but are for all the 21st century library and information professionals. These skills and competencies are rooted in the past of librarianship, but obviously they will take the profession far into the future because they are the basis for the continued survival and growth in this information age. Dear students, we can sum up this module by saying that it discusses about the concept of reference service, the role of reference librarian in providing various types of reference and information services. It also states that technological innovations have brought changes in library activities. This has brought shift in the role of reference librarian as well. In dealing with changes, the reference librarian needs to acquire new skills and competencies to understand knowledge resources, new media, and so on. The module discusses some personal skills and traits which he brings to the profession and enriches it. These would help him to be resourceful and become effective reference librarian in the 21st century. These are the qualities and skills which are direly needed in the present times. Thank you very much, dear students. Thanks.